The mountain sneezed, and the whole valley bounced. Nobody expected that. 1 second, everything was calm. Fluffy clouds floated gently, birds were humming soft tunes, and right in the middle of it all stood Floof Peak, the softest, puffiest mountain anyone had ever seen. Then, Choo! Booing! The ground bounced like a trampoline. Pebbles jumped, trees wiggled, and a tiny blue-shirt cartoon cat went flying into the air like a confused balloon. "What?" he yelped, spinning mid-air before landing with a soft poof on a cottony hill. Picture this: a valley made of fluff, hills like marshmallows, clouds low enough to touch, and in the center, a giant mountain that looked like it was made of soft, wobbly cotton candy. That was Floof Peak. And today, it had a cold. The little cat dusted himself off, blinking in confusion. "Okay, mountains don't sneeze," he said. But then, the mountain sniffled. A deep, rumbling snore echoed across the valley. The cat froze. "Okay, maybe this one does." He looked up. The peak trembled. Tiny puffs of fluff floated down like snow. And that's when things got weird. Oh no. Choo! Booing! The cat bounced again, this time higher, arms flailing, eyes wide. "Not again!" He landed upside down in a bush that squeaked. Yes, the bush squeaked. Because everything here was soft, and strange, and very, very bouncy. The cat pulled himself out, dizzy but determined. This mountain needs help. And just like that, the adventure began. But first, moment 1. The silly mistake. The cat spotted a giant feather drifting gently nearby. "Aha! I know this trick," he said proudly. "Feathers make things sneeze." He grabbed it and marched toward the mountain. "Don't worry, big guy," he shouted. "I'll fix your sneeze." He climbed halfway up the fluffy slope, slipping slightly but bouncing back every time. Then he reached a giant, soft ledge, right under what looked like the mountain's nose. He lifted the feather. "Here we go." He tickled. For a second, nothing happened. Then, the mountain's nose twitched. "Oh no. Wait! Choo! Kaboom! The biggest bounce yet. The entire valley stretched and snapped back like jelly. The cat was launched so high, he disappeared into a cloud. Silence. Then, he dropped back down, landing in a pile of fluff with a soft thwomp. Everything shook. Everything wobbled. And now, it was worse. The mountain was sneezing faster. "Oops," the cat groaned. That did not help. But then, moment 2, the chase begins. A loud rumble echoed from the top. Oh no. The cat turned and ran. Choo! Boom! The ground bounced behind him like a wave. He sprinted. Boing, jump. Boing, slide. The fluffy terrain turned into a bouncing obstacle course. He bounced off hills, slipped on soft patches, rolled down a puff slope. Why is everything so bouncy? Another sneeze wave chased him. Choo! He leaped over a wiggling tree, ducked under a floating fluff cloud, spun mid-air, and barely landed on a stable patch. Panting, he looked back. The mountain sniffled again. Okay, running is not a plan. But wait. A tiny voice squeaked. Hey, you're doing it wrong! The cat blinked. Who said that? Moment 3. Unexpected helper. A small, round creature popped out of the fluff. It looked like a tiny walking marshmallow with big eyes and tiny feet. Name's Poff, it chirped. Local fluff expert. The cat stared. You live here? Yep, and that mountain? Poff pointed. That's Floof Peak. He sneezes when his fluff gets itchy. The cat blinked again. So, I made it worse? Way worse, Poff said cheerfully. Great. Another rumble. Poff gasped. Incoming! Choo! Booing. They both bounced, higher, faster, spinning like popcorn. They landed in a soft dip. Okay, the cat said. What do we do? Poff thought. Floof Peak doesn't need tickling. Clearly. He needs calming. The cat tilted his head. Calming? Yep, when his fluff is messy, it tickles. We need to smooth it. The cat looked up at the massive mountain. That is a lot of fluff. Poff grinned. Then we better hurry. And that's when things got even crazier. Moment 4. Everything goes wrong. The cat and Poff started climbing. Bounce, step, slide, bounce again. They reached a higher level where the fluff was thicker and wilder. It's like a giant, messy pillow, the cat said. Exactly. They began smoothing the fluff with their hands. Pat, press, fluff. For a moment, it worked. The mountain quieted. No sneezing. No bouncing. The cat smiled. Hey, we're actually… Ah! They froze. Not again. Suddenly, a giant gust of wind blew across the peak. Whoosh! The carefully smoothed fluff puffed back up, even messier than before. No, 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 no! Loose fluff swirled everywhere like a storm. It tickled the mountain's nose. Ah! Run! Choo! Kabooing! The biggest bounce yet. The entire mountain lifted slightly, then slammed back down like a giant pillow. The cat and Poff were thrown into the air, spinning, flipping, yelling. They landed far below in a soft crater. Everything was chaos. Fluff raining down, ground wobbling, mountain rumbling non-stop. Okay, the cat shouted. Smoothing isn't working. Poff coughed up a puff of fluff. We need a better idea. The mountain inhaled again. Ah! The cat's eyes widened. Moment 5. Smart comeback. Wait, he said slowly. What if we don't fight the fluff? Poff blinked. What do you mean? What if we organize it? Poff tilted his head. The cat jumped up. Follow me. They rushed around the valley. The cat grabbed long strands of stretchy fluff. Poff gathered soft clumps. They twisted, pulled, rolled. Make ropes, the cat said. Ropes? Trust me. They created long, soft fluff ropes. Then they climbed again, fast, determined. The mountain rumbled. Hurry! Puff squeaked. They reached the messy peak. Now! The cat shouted. They wrapped the fluff ropes around the wild patches, tied them gently, pulled them into neat, smooth sections, like braiding giant fluffy hair. The mess turned into organized layers, smooth, even, soft. The mountain paused. Silence. The cat held his breath. Puff squeezed his eyes shut. Then, a tiny sniffle. Sniff. But no sneeze. The mountain relaxed. The fluff settled. The air grew calm. It worked. The cat smiled slowly. We did it. Puff cheered. We did it! The valley stopped bouncing. Everything was peaceful again. Birds returned. Clouds floated gently. Floof Peak stood tall, quiet, and finally comfortable. The cat stretched. That was a lot. Puff nodded. You saved the mountain. The cat grinned. Well, with a little help. They both laughed. But wait. The mountain made a tiny sound. Sniff. The cat froze. Puff froze. They looked at each other. Uh-oh. The mountain twitched. No, no, no. Not again. The cat slowly raised a finger. Don't move. Everything went still. Completely still. Even the wind stopped. A long pause. Then, chew! Poof! A small bounce. Barely anything. The cat blinked. Puff blinked. Then they both burst out laughing, and the cat said, Okay, next time we're bringing tissues.